Hello again and welcome back. Now, just doing a discussion here about Funko and wrestling
Yay.
because we had some ideas of what we would like to see in the way of Funko Pops as far as classic wrestlers, not modern wrestlers. We
Yeah.
really don't know very much about modern wrestlers because we gave up on watching wrestling in the mid 90s, mid to late 90s, when it just started getting way too silly for our taste, but we like a lot of the classic ones. And we were discussing not too long ago, hey, we'd really like to see Jake the Snake Roberts,
hmm
and now they've got Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
So since they read our minds, we may as well go ahead and throw out a few others. So we each have a top 10 list, which of course equates to basically a top 20 list of wrestlers that we would like to see.
hmm
And so I'll go first.
Okay.
First off, Big Boss Man. Remember the Big Boss Man?
I
Big
remember
Boss
him.
Man, and he didn't have a badge because I guess that would have been impersonating an officer.
hmm
But yeah, it said Big Boss Man on his shirt, and he carried the nightstick, and he rode that character forever.
Yeah.
He was always Big Boss Man. I guess he really was a prison guard at one point
Yeah, in Georgia,
in
Cobb
Georgia.
County.
Yeah, and yeah, classic legendary heel in the industry. Next up, I have Doink. Doink the Clown. Do you remember Doink the Clown?
I don't remember
I
that.
am surprised you do not remember Doink the Clown. And that, of course, is Dink that he's carrying there. So it's
The
Doink and
little
Dink.
midget.
Yeah, which is the concept for Mini Me. Hate to tell you, folks, from Austin Powers. But the thing, I think it would be really cool if you know how like they did with Fraggle Rock and they have the little doozer,
Yeah.
that if they did Doink and then they had like a little Doink like doozer size that was
Oh,
in the package with
no.
them. That would be cool. Come on,
No.
that would work. Doink is another one of those wrestling tragedies that you hear about.
Hmm.
He was caught with a joint in a hotel,
Oh,
and
wow.
he wasn't caught, but one of the other wrestlers saw him and ratted him out,
Oh, what a
and
pig.
McMahon fired him, and so he lost his job as Doink,
Hmm.
and then he called home to tell his wife, and when he got home, her and their daughter were gone, and the bank was empty, and he was like, the last interview I saw with him, he said to this day he don't know where they are.
Wow.
So yeah, he fell hard. A
Hmm.
lot of people in this industry do, unfortunately. George the Animal Steel. I used to love George the Animal Steel, green tongue and all,
hmm
which was by accident. One time he had to do an interview where he had been drinking and he didn't want the person doing the interview to know that he had whiskey on his breath or whatever. So he took chlorets and it turned his tongue green and it just kind of stuck. And he kind of fell into all these gimmicks like that. The whole George gimmick, everything he
Yeah.
did. Man had hair everywhere but on his head. And if you have never seen Georgie Animal Steel's classic bits with Macho Man Randy Savage, you're missing something. They are hilarious,
Yeah.
fighting each other. And of course, he used to carry that stuffed animal with him. And it was his because you see it says mine on it.
hmm
And he was famous for ripping open turnbuckles with his teeth, and he'd tear the foam out and throw it all over the place. He was- that guy used to crack me up.
Yeah.
He was a lot of fun to watch. Hillbilly Jim. Hillbilly Jim, he was one of the big boys. That guy was
He was
huge. He
huge.
was huge.
Yeah.
And the happy, goofy disposition you see on him, that's really him.
Hmm.
If you've ever run into him anywhere, seen him at conventions and stuff, he's like that all the time. He's always happy. And you remember he always had the lucky shoehorn necklace
hmm
that he used to wear. And I was gonna say, if he did if they did a pop of him, they'd have to be sure to give him the shoehorn.
That'll be a chase.
A chase with the shoehorn?
Yeah, you know how they do things.
Oh no, don't
Oh,
do
some
that.
kind of exclusive.
Yeah.
That's how Funko does
Honky Tonk Man,
it.
who used to dress like Fat Elvis. He had the hair greased up and he'd wear the
Yeah.
jumpsuit and he'd come out with the guitar. And this guy used to crack me up. Classic heel, one of the best
hmm
heels in the business. And he'd come out with the guitar. I need y'all to shut up now, 'cause Honky Tonk is gonna grace you with a song. And then he'd get ready to play and somebody'd ambush him. or or somehow that guitar would end up smashed over someone's head. I don't think I've ever heard him actually play the
Because he
guitar.
couldn't play.
He might not can. If I ever run into him, I'm gonna ask him, "Can you actually play the guitar?"
No. That's why they always got cut off.
He'd always lay that upside somebody's head at the last second just before he
Hmm.
went to strum. That guy cracked me up. Jesse the Body Ventura, not Jesse that you know now, the Jesse that was out then, who looked like this every day.
Hmm.
I mean, he's even stuck a jewel in his chin dimple. That's like a little fake diamond or something that he stuck in there. That guy was nuts. And he used to dress like this all the time, whatever he was doing. And I'd like to see classic WWF Jesse with the feather boas and the crazy glasses and all the other
Yeah, the
foolishness. Yeah, the
outfits.
foolishness that he used to do that made him so recognizable in the business. He was another heel. Kamala, the Kamalan giant. Do you recognize him?
I could do.
Yeah, he's another one of my favorites.
I don't really
He
remember seeing him wrestle.
he never talked. He was a big guy. James Harris,
Mm.
because he's not from Africa. James Harris, and he used to come out with his handler, and the guy wore a mask. And the reason that the handler always had a mask on because they couldn't get the same guy, so they would say, "Who have we got that'll fit the costume?" Because Kamala had the costume with him, and they just
Hmm.
stuff somebody in that costume, and he'd come out, he'd be the handler, trying to direct Kamala when Kamala would get weird because he never spoke.
Yeah,
He never spoke in the ring. He's another tragedy.
yeah, I
That
heard
guy.
about him.
Yeah, he the last time he did WrestleMania, I think it
Hmm.
was WrestleMania against Undertaker. Undertaker pulled a $500,000 draw in payment, not even like merchandising and stuff.
Hmm.
Kamala, they paid him like 13,000, and
Mm.
Kamala was like, "That's it. I've been ripped off by McMahon for the last time. I'm done."
Yeah.
And then just recently, just within the last year and a half or so, because of diabetes, he's had both of his legs amputated. So he's another hard luck case, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And he's I remember him. I used to see him a lot. It's a shame. Captain Lou Albano, who in later years in the 80s you saw him more as a manager,
Hmm.
and you saw him in some videos with Cyndi Lauper. And you know it would be a cool chase. Do you remember Lou Albano?
I don't think so. He doesn't look familiar.
He was in the video. He played
The
Cyndi
dad.
Lauper's dad, yes, in the
Hmm.
video.
And the girls just want to have fun.
And live action television
Oh, he was
Mario. He was
Mario.
Mario on the TV.
Oh, okay.
And I think that would be an awesome chase if Funko ever manages to get a Nintendo contract. Because Nintendo keeps saying,
That's good for them.
yeah, but that would be cool if they did a chase of him as
Hmm.
Mario. Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
Sergeant
G.I.
Slaughter.
Joe.
He was a classic baby face,
Hmm.
even though he has a face like a pie. That guy had a huge chin. It, he does. He's got a big chin. He looks like a drill sergeant,
Hmm.
and turned heel eventually.
Yeah.
At some point later on, but I remember him like this and like this
Yeah.
because
G.I.
he
Joe.
had his own GI Joe and did his own voiceovers on the cartoon show, and actually took a lot of heat from McMahon for it, who did not like him
Mc,
merchandising on his own.
McMahon don't want people to make money. That's why his wrestlers then
Yeah,
didn't
then
make any money.
a lot of them didn't.
They didn't. They
Oh, they
make better
suffered.
now,
They suffered.
but they weren't making any money. He found a way to capitalize. So good for him.
Yeah, I mean, GI Joe's a better bit than whatever else they had going on, but McMahon did
Yeah.
not like him doing that, and they had a lot of fights about it.
McMahon's greedy. Sorry,
Hmm.
but
Nikolai Volkov. Nikolai
Nikolai.
Volkov, the Mad Russian,
Hmm.
and he used to every time he came out, he had a bit. He's another classic heel.
Hmm.
Every time he came out, he'd come up and he'd whisper to the announcer, and then the announcer would be like, "Nikolai Volkov would like you all to stand," while he sings the Russian national anthem. Because he'd come out with a Russian flag and the whole
Hmm.
bit and a USSR shirt, and then he would sing the national anthem in a big baritone voice. He could do it.
Hmm.
And then if Hacksaw Jim Duggan was there, he would run out with a pair of scissors and cut the mic cord so that he'd be cut off and like singing, then and look around like, what's going on? And a missed opportunity here by Funko.
Hmm.
Never saw him without the Iron Sheik
Oh.
because they were a tag team. They were a tag
Mhm.
team forever, and they were always together.
Mhm.
And he Sheik would be up there when he would sing, and the Sheik would salute. He'd put his hand up to salute with him while he was singing, and he'd yell at the crowd to show some respect. He used to get a kick out of that. And that's 10. And
Yay.
now we have your list.
Mhm.
And what have you got?
Got the British Bulldog. I used to love him. He was a huge guy,
Hmm.
and I think he was a phenomenal wrestler. He was very good wrestler. He was a likable guy. You know, people kind of got on him sometime because of the British flag and everything,
Uh-huh.
but he wasn't a heel.
And he was British.
Yeah,
and
he wasn't pretending.
and he was tag team partners with the Dynamite Kid,
Yeah,
who nobody liked apparently. Nobody in wrestling has anything good to say about Dynamite Kid, unfortunately.
yeah.
And
King Kong Bundy.
King Kong Bundy, one of the wrestling big men
Yeah, he was a huge guy,
well, you can see it
like
there. I mean, it looks like his
five
arms,
hundred pounds.
looks like his arms are glued on.
I know, and it's all weird because he doesn't have like a great shape.
No,
He's just a really big guy.
yeah, and he used to fight
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan and Andre the
And
Giant
pick
a lot.
everybody up, and
Yeah,
him and Andre watching them together was always fun because they're both so big
huge.
and picking each other up. It was good.
Which, of course, Andre was supposed to be undefeatable anyway.
Yeah,
And
until Hulk Hogan beat
he
him
guest starred
at the
on it.
last time.
He guest starred on an episode of Married with Children.
King Kong Bundy?
Yes,
Oh wow,
he
I didn't see
he
that.
played one of the relatives, Uncle Bundy, or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Oh
Yeah, he was
okay.
in an episode of Married with Children.
Oh, okay. China,
China.
the first real diva.
Hmm.
But the sad part about it, I doubted if they'll ever make a pop of her
Yeah,
because of her background. She got into porn
yeah.
and some drug
Drug
use and
problems.
suicidal and all of this. So,
Yeah,
but she
the
was a better. Well, okay, I can't really say that because I've never seen the other female
hmm
wrestle. I was gonna say she's better than
sure.
all of them, but I can't accurately say that. But I watched her. I remember when she came out, and I always liked her. I thought she had a good look to herself, and
She's one of the first like female wrestlers to really stand out
yeah,
of in the crowd, so to speak.
yeah, she was
And
at first. Well, she was before the diva. I don't even think she would consider herself a diva because she
hmm
didn't glam up like all those
no,
girls do
no.
today. It's more of a fashion show, and they're like the petite wrestlers. You know, China was
China
big,
was
like
thick.
a
Yeah.
yeah, like
Um,
a bodybuilder. Those other girls, they're
Joni
very athletic built, but not like China was.
Joni Lauer.
That was her
Joni
real
Lauer.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, she
yeah,
died
she
recently.
fell out hard, and
She
so
did.
the WWE considers her an embarrassment now. So
Yeah.
unfortunately,
So I doubted if she'd ever
yeah.
get a pop, but I would love to see one of her.
hmm
I would get that. And
Mick Foley as
dude
Dude
love.
Love.
He had a lot of
He did.
characters.
There's some potential being missed there with the Mankind that they already made.
Yeah. Well, he came out as Mick Foley, not Mankind. Mankind had the
The
mask
Mask,
on.
and then there's Dude Love,
Yeah.
and then Cactus Jack
Yeah, but the only one that's out right now
is Mankind.
is no Mick Foley.
Mick Foley, they didn't do Mankind?
No, they did Mick
Well,
Foley.
here's the thing. I mean,
That's
there's
four characters.
this is your three pack right here.
I wouldn't want it in a three pack. I want
Yeah,
it separately.
Cactus Jack, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, and Mankind.
Mankind, yeah, because right now it's just Mick
Mick
Foley.
Foley, because that's just who he is now because he got rid of the whole split personality gimmick.
Yeah, but I used to like Mankind with the whole mask, and he was crazy and
Hmm.
psychotic.
He
I
used
liked
to
all that.
call people out for not having enough testicular fortitude to come into the ring.
Yeah, he had those personalities. He was great. I liked
He was
him.
fun.
hmm And the announcer, I thought he was great as an announcer.
Mean Gene Okerlund.
Yeah.
Mean Gene
He used to
Okerlund.
have those little tuxedos on, and he always looked like he was terrified of the rest, especially the big, the bigger guy, and I mean he was small, a
He
small
was
guy,
small.
short, and those wrestlers would tower over him, and they were big. And then when
And
they
they would mouth off, and he wouldn't cringe though.
no,
He'd mouth back at him sometimes. It's pretty funny,
but
but
that would be a good
he had a
pop.
good voice.
Yeah, he did. I liked him.
You
He was
know,
funny to watch.
Jesse Ventura is the one that gave him the nickname
Oh yeah, why?
because they used to do a bit together, and Ventura would be like, you know what, you're really mean to me, Gene. And then it started.
Mean Gene.
Yeah, it stuck. It
Uh,
stuck.
Gold Dust.
Gold Dust. Dustin Runnels.
That'll be. I think they could do good with that, with the whole outfit and the gold
He has some
face
very
makeup and
and he has a reverse outfit
oh, they do.
already. It's like black with gold on the other side, and then
Hmm.
black feathers with a different makeup scheme than that. So they could there's your chase right
It's a
there.
lot that they can do with him. I mean, they
Yeah.
can do the paint, with all of the other characters they have and the
Hmm.
face paint they do. So I think they can really pull that off if they try. If the outfit would make it.
Another classic heel.
Yeah.
Somebody everybody loved to hate.
Hmm. Hacksaw Jim Duggan
That's right.
with the
Oh,
with the two by four,
with the 2x4.
and they have to have that in there. They can't have him without it.
Yeah, he's
He
got to
has
have
to
a
have the because he never wrestled without the two by four
yeah. He always had the 2x4, or a chase option.
with the
He
flag.
often had an American flag.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yep.
Or just an exclusive like Walgreens or Hot Topic,
Hmm.
because then you'll be able to find it.
Then you'll be able to find it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good point.
Jerry the King. I liked him better as the announcer
Oh my
because he
God.
became, well, not an announcer. He became the commentator.
Yeah, ringside commentator.
Yeah. And he was hilarious. The things that he would say was just hilarious.
Yeah.
He was so funny. I saw him wrestle a few times, but I liked him better as a commentator.
Hmm.
I thought he was good. The whole king, the robes, and all of that stuff was just good. So I like him, and they have to put a crown on him and a robe and everything just to make it complete.
He was more of a wrestler in the 70s
Yeah,
and
he did a
transitioned into
couple
the 80s.
things in the 80s, not a lot,
Yeah.
because when I first started watching wrestlers, he was already a commentator, and then a couple of times somebody would challenge him to a match, and then
Hmm.
he'll come out.
Yeah.
So it was only a handful of times.
Another classic heel.
Yeah.
And then
Junkyard Dog with the
with the
chain.
chain.
It would be nice if he had the dog collar.
Well, he used to wear it.
Yeah,
See,
but
you see the collar on it, and he'd
mhm.
take it off.
Okay,
He would come
they
out
have
to
to
the
do
ring with
one
it
with
like that and unhook it.
the collar, and then one with the chain, just him holding the chain. So that would be good.
You
What is
know,
that on his arm? Oh,
it's
a
some
little
kind of tattoo.
look like a prison tattoo, like the one you do in your basement.
Yeah, it's done with toothpicks and toothpaste.
Yeah.
But one thing a good spot there to find out whether or not Funko knows what they're doing, on his trunks,
Hmm.
across his butt was always written the word thump. It was sequenced into his costume. Right on his butt it said thump.
Why you want that on your butt?
I don't know, but it said thump. And so if you got the Junkyard Dog pop and you took it out of the package and turned it around, it should say thump. If Funko's paying attention.
Now they pay attention to some
Some
things, not
things,
all
not all
things.
things.
And Virgil.
Virgil, I think
I liked Virgil.
Virgil was a missed opportunity.
Virgil was a missed opportunity, but I liked him when he was with Million Dollar Man. He
Hmm.
was like the assistant, and then he ventured
Yeah,
off by
bodyguard.
himself. Yeah. Then he ventured off by himself, and when they came out with the 2-pack of the Million Dollar Man and IRS,
IRS.
I thought they were going to do a 2-pack of the Million Dollar Man and Virgil, and they didn't.
That would have made more sense to me because I remember
Yeah.
Virgil better than I
Then the
remember
IRS,
IRS.
yeah. But the 2-pack, I would buy the 2-pack of him and Million Dollar Man
Hmm.
and just him because he ended up wrestling. They had a falling out, and he began to wrestle on his own.
Yeah.
So I think that would be good. My man, Bob Becker.
What about Bob Backlund? And he
The
has to
bow
wear the preacher
tie.
suit there too, because he always had that on.
Bob Backlund doesn't get the credit he
Recognition he
needs
deserves, yeah. He
because
was out there for a long time.
you talk to a lot of people and they always ask me who's my favorite wrestler. Undertaker is number one,
Hmm.
but Bob Backlund, I love Bob Backlund more than them all, except for Undertaker. But a lot of people don't know who he is. His
Yeah,
signature move was the cross-face
cross-face
chicken
chicken
wing,
wing.
and this dude was crazy. He would come out all nice and humble with his suit on. Then he'll
Hmm.
just flip out on you.
Hmm.
Just all of a sudden out of nowhere, he'll flip out and then he'll put you in that cross-face chicken wing. And that was
Oh my
his
God.
signature move. But this dude was hilarious. I loved him. I loved listening to him talk and do his little rant and just flip out. And his wrestling, I liked it. So I want to see a pop of him. I doubted if they'll make it because again, he wasn't a
He's not
popular.
that
He
huge.
wasn't.
He wasn't that
He really
huge.
wasn't. But
Yeah.
he's my favorite, and I have a signed autographed picture of him.
Yes, you do.
But
And that's 11. You did it again.
no, I didn't.
That's 11.
Oh,
That makes a You go over every time.
no,
I
you
want to
do.
go over too.
Okay,
All right, you
go
know
over.
what? Yeah, I'll give one more. Jimmy Hart.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South. Jimmy Hart, always running around with the megaphone, and then he would
Hmm.
hit people with it. And he always, most of the time, he was the so-called manager of the heel wrestlers. He
Mm.
would always come out with with the people that everybody wanted to throw their soda cups at. Although now he does whatever because he's been seen a lot with Hulk Hogan.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I always wore the worst suits,
Like what he got on right
like he
now?
belongs on Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. And I guess that's it.
Yeah.
You have any others? No.
No, that's all I
That's
have.
enough.
Yeah, that's
That's enough.
plenty.
So, what do you think of our list? You can go ahead and put it in the comment section down below.
Hmm.
And is there anyone else classic we're talking about
Yeah,
here?
classic.
So pre 1985-ish or 1986-ish?
No, 1990.
I'm
Because we
sorry. Yeah, you're right.
stopped
You're right. You're right.
watching back
So,
in 95, 96.
who from pre 1996-ish back would you like to see
Yeah. Because I
as
would like
a
to see
pop
the
wrestler
game. I stopped watching,
around the time he was coming out?
yeah, when the game had
Hmm.
started
When
wrestling.
they were pretending he was Andre the Giant's son.
Yeah. But he was the last one I can remember.
Uh-huh.
And he came out, I think, like in 95, 6, something
Hmm.
like that. So around that time.
Yeah, they could just copy the King Kong Bundy mold by putting some hair on it.
He didn't have hair. The game didn't have hair.
He did in the beginning. He doesn't now,
When
but
I remember him,
he did.
yeah, in the big show.
Okay,
Yeah.
big show. So, who would you like to see? Go ahead and put it in the comment section down below, and let's see.
Hmm.
So, I'll remind everybody that I do have my latest Masters of the Universe cartoon parody up, so watch out for that. And if you got something out of the video, a thumbs up would be appreciated.
Yep.
Thank you very much. And if you are new to the channel, please do like, share, and subscribe. Check out some of our other videos. And again, don't let the background fool you because we were in the process of a move, and so there's just nothing set up. So we're kind of barren right now.
Yeah.
So that being said, anything else?
Nope.
Nothing else. We will see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.